My name is Sharon Lin, or Alex Lin. I'm a software engineer at SingleStore. When I was a kid, I read this book about the Qing dynasty in China. In the textbooks, that dynasty was always portrayed as somewhat of a brutal leader kind of dynasty. That series of book kind of wrote from the aspect of that dynasty, how it rose to power, how it gained control over the region. And I think it gave me a perspective of kind of how things are. When you grow up, you're like, oh, the world is black and white. And then when you slowly grow up more, you're like, oh, there's more to black and white. There's grays, there's different perspectives, there's all kinds of colors. To be able to, accept that your view is not the only view, to be able to look through the lens of others, I think that's really valuable as a lesson for me growing up. I think one thing that I've gotten growing up is been to fairly different environments. I've been in the regular Chinese normal high school system. I was in the international high school system. I've been in the States for a year when I was a kid in elementary school. I think that diversity is what kind of shaped me the most. Willing to explore is kind of what landed me as a developer. I was a ECE kid when I was in college. I liked doing stuff that involved creating things. And I gradually fell into the CS track because I was at Carnegie Mellon University, and I found it very interesting. Throughout my college years, I found system work to be really fulfilling. I like challenges where it really involves a deep dive into things. I think one of the fun parts about doing system works in particular is that it's usually connected to a lot of different things. And in systems work, there's a lot of challenges there about kind of how different things work together. And thinking through those and trying to find the clues in that is a very interesting process. It's kind of like solving little mysteries, right? It's like, one of the things I really loved reading was detective books. And it's kind of like that, right? You go into a problem, you didn't know what it is, you piece out the clues, you look through things, you test things, and then you make a realization and you're like, damn, that was very fun. Let's do it again. One of the things I like about SingleStore is there's a lot of creative freedom at SingleStore. And especially on our team, I think I get a bit more expression here at SingleStore. There's a bit more freedom, not just in work, also in kind of talking to people, asking people directly what questions it is, reaching out to people. I think it's very friendly in here. Currently live the simple, 2-point life, come to work, go back home, get good food, play games, watch a show. As far as games I've been playing, I have a group of friends that I play with. We've been playing a lot of Riot Games stuff. When I was in college, I played a lot of League. And my friends got into Valorant when it came out, so I got into it with them. I also play a lot of Steam games. Steam is probably my favorite app, just because it's solid platform, it has everything you need, easy to use, and I have you can share games with others. That's all I ask for. I listen to a broad range of music. Hip hop is probably my first genre. Well, I don't actively create my playlist. I just hit a song, I like it, and that's about it. I'm definitely a night owl. I like, nighttime. It's like your time for yourself. You're not having obligations, even though I might be doing work. I guess my hope for tech in the next decade is not related to my specific field, but it's more like I do hope we get more, sustainable stuff. Whether it's be more new types of recycling, more cleaner energy, expand on, kind of making things easier and more sustainable. I think that's a really important thing, but I think technology has potential to be a great solution to all these problems, and I really hope it does advance in that way. Have fun, do things that you want to do, keep yourself balanced, keep yourself optimistic, and that's kind of what I live by. I like to see the optimism inside of things and, hope for the best.